Thank you very much, Shufang Amansa. Quite a pleasure again to be here, and I want to welcome every member of BFU-USA, distinguished member, I must say, for making this organization. It's a very exciting moment to lead this organization at this point in time. I think the package that we have here for this evening is something that we've not seen in a very long time. And I just wish that people can tune in, listen, and ask questions because we don't want a situation where people are deprived, feel like they're deprived of information when the information is already available. So I'm looking forward to us sharing our experiences, what we did accomplish in Dallas, and the challenges that we face and what we look forward to be doing in this great organization that we have. It's a beautiful platform, and I think one that we do not have anywhere else that is ready to lead us into changing Boy Division, changing the lives of people, impacting our community. And I look forward to everyone joining us so that we can be part of this journey that was set forth some 35 years plus ago. And first of all, I have to start by expressing my immense gratitude on behalf of the leadership of BFU and on behalf of the organization as a whole to the Dallas chapter for a phenomenal job that they did in accomplishing, I would say, uh, the greatest convention in recent memory in the history of our organization. And I think those of you that attended the convention, overall picture, you can attest to that. It was a huge job. And we just realized that, or it's dawning on us, that BFU is becoming bigger and more challenging uh, to organize a convention for. Previously, it used to be a few people and a lot of are not involved, you could quickly turn things around and get a lot of things done. But now with the numbers that we have, the challenges are becoming just very compelling. And I don't want to be singling out the names of people, but the chapter as a whole, the Dallas chapter, I would say they prove that there is a force in Dallas and that the entire BFU community needs to reckon with. And this would not be very possible without the able leadership, the distinguished leadership of the chapter president in the person of Mr. Amosa Jumbam. Is a person I work closely with. I know him as a friend, and what he's gone through in leading the chapter to this great success of our times is something that I cannot even begin to understand how he did it. In spite of the challenges, he stood with the vision that the chapter set forth for the organization. And in spite of the challenges, he made sure that he was focused and didn't refused every distraction that was available to him in making sure that Dallas stood strong for the entire organization and delivered on every front. It already had, and I think the chapter delivered very very significantly on. On the convention promise that they set forth for the. I mean, I know lots of folks personally within the chapter. I'm part of the chapter, and what they did to make sure that things work out, from the very onset, right to the last day of the convention, is a commitment that we can only try to ameliorate, right? To copy so that we can replicate those in subsequent chapters and improve on them. We have been able to conduct a post-convention survey, and the results are very clear. We've seen people participated, they expressed themselves, and those who had verbal communication interaction with the leadership, we took notes and we listened to you. And it's a promise that we've set. We always lead because we want to satisfy the needs of every member of BFU-US, and we're listening. And I promise you that we are going to be bringing more significant changes in addition to those that we've been trying to bring forth to make the convention a better experience. We'll be bringing much more visible changes in the way that the convention is organized structurally and content wise to make sure we demonstrate our ability to listen and that we are here to serve you. So this is something that is very significant. The post-convention survey, and part of what we've been doing is that we've already started implementing it. In spite of the fact that we have bringing this report a little bit late, which I have to apologize, was for personal reasons. I know for an organization, we have to put the organization first. So sometimes, since we are growing and the BFU is the way it is, there are some of these things that we cannot overcome, in terms of making good on what we are supposed to do at the time we are supposed to do. So all right. This is I think it's very important for me to paint the picture so that all of us can have a good sense of how BFU does business. Uh, BFU principally, the way we conduct financial transactions is through four different platforms. The top platform that we use, which is a platform that manages, is kind of what we call in business the CRM, right? That house every other online type of digital activity that we have. You're talking about membership management, membership registration, sustainer, and everything else. We use what is called the authorized.net, which carries about, I think, 90% of our transactions. Because of the Dallas Convention, the uniqueness, and some of the things that we're trying to promote and make sure that people do business with a lot of ease, we got in the application called Zevi.net, which is principally a ticketing type of software, so that if you are registering for and paying the registering just for the cultural evening or the gala night, and you're not registering for the convention as a whole, we make it very easy so that you could just have one, two, three clicks and then you buy your ticket. So that's why we incorporated the Zevi.net during this convention, and I think it accounted for about 14% or so of our financial transactions. Then we have PayPal that we've been using for a long time. We have Cash App. Those ones we did not take much of the financial transactions that we had for the current convention. So there was a lot of people that bought just tickets, and the Zephy.net app that we software that we got, proved very, very good an investment for the union. Next slide, please. This is just convention by numbers, and because we're a little bit behind time, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this one. But it just suffice to hear that we had a historic 231 hotel rooms that were booked under BFU-USA. You can do the maths, and Dallas Convention. At the peak of it all, I think we had more than 1,100 or 1,200 people was in and out of the hall at for Friday and Saturday. So it was a huge convention in terms of numbers, and got about 200 people that just bought tickets for Friday and Saturday. So those are huge numbers, and I think it just shows you the brand, the BFU brand, the way it's selling out there. And we just need to make sure that what we are offering, that we keep to it and improve upon it to make sure that BFU stands out as a distinguished cultural lead within the complex that we have here in the United States of the African Communities organization that we run here. So next slide, please. Okay, this is the I'm trying to present here in a comparative format so that maybe it can give a much more better perspective to everyone. So if you look at it on the first line, it shows you that we had 108,000 from delegates that registered for the convention. Everybody who signed in and paid money for the convention. So we had 108,000. You compare that to what we had in New Jersey of 83,000. The second one is the tickets. If you could look at it, you see why I was emphasizing the Zephy.net software that we got for the union. It's a ticketing type of software. And you saw, if you divide 20,000 by 100, you get about 200 people who only bought tickets for either Friday or Saturday. So you can see what the numbers I'm talking about here, compare that with just 1,400 in New Jersey. The BFU magazine raised, in terms of the ads that were published inside and the sales of copies of the magazine, raised about 3,000 compared to about 2,000 in New Jersey. You had the convention vendor tables, which is people vendors that sell stuff on the corridors of the convention. You, and then because of some of the programs, particularly the MEXA we had for the talent and leadership development, we had some individuals.
Mr. President, it looks like your audio is breaking up.
Oh, really?
Yes, and also if
Uh,
you can go, if you can just go off camera, then people can see the numbers for New Jersey. I will go off camera myself.
okay, do that.
Perfect.
Let me see. All right. Is it better now?
Yes, I think it is better.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I just wanted to call people's attention to the direct donations towards talent and leadership development program of 961, and we'll see the impact of that in the next slide. All right. So in total, we had 135,231 in terms of revenue at the Dallas convention. If you compare that with New Jersey, where we had 88,231, then you see the difference in terms of numbers. Next slide, please. All right, this is a convention expenses. Convention expenses. You see the numbers are just very staggering there, right? We mainly spend money in terms of what we pay at the hotel and food. So if you look at the numbers here, you see the differences between what we spent in New Jersey and what we spent in Dallas, and uh, one of the things I want to kind of elaborate on is the design and printing. That is a lot of things. Encompassing our the badges that we use, everything that we print, the banners, and that we use for the convention. Printing there too involves uh, uh, the it involves some of the presentations that we have in terms of materials and a lot of stuff that goes in there. All of these categories, they have the detailed breakdown of what constitute each of those expenditure that we had. And then we go on to the talent and leadership development there, which is you see we spent about $4,000 compared to almost 2,000 that we spent in New Jersey. I just want to point this out because even though there were folks who were so excited about the talent and leadership development and contributed money directly to support the talent and leadership, BFU as an organization spent $4,000 to organize what the talent and leadership development team was doing. So I just want to emphasize this specifically because there were some rumors around that the executive was not very transparent, that they received money for talent and leadership development and apparently did not give it to the leadership team of the talent and leadership development. So I just want to make sure that we have this very squarely. The money that was received, that was through the system, we recorded it, we recognized it as being towards that program, and we are accounting for it. So I just think it's very important that we get this straight. Sometimes we donate money or make action and we expect immediate results. It's not the fact that it was being delayed doesn't mean that we did not recognize those donations. So I really wanted to emphasize that point here. Security is something that is becoming very prominent within our organization, and you see the amount of money that we're spending for security and DJ and stuff. Those are standard expenditures that we have in terms of what we spent during the convention. Reefer truck is basically the refrigerated truck that we get to serve us, in terms of storing food, in terms of serving cold drinks and cool, refrigerated food at particularly the barbecue or some of the stuff that we store in the truck to use at the convention hotel grounds. So that is one of the main things that we're doing, and we'll be looking at it from city to city to see if some of these things are advisable, and figure out how to manage the budget to make sure that we just spend what is necessary. And if you look at it, we've spent a total of 110,579 compared to 88,454 in New Jersey last year. Next slide, please. Yeah, if you look at all of this, then the summary is what you get here. The convention revenue was 135. We spent 110. So the difference in terms of what you call profits from operation is 24,600. That is the amount of money in cash that we got from the Dallas convention by just having the registration, people who register, and all other sources of revenue that we had. Compare that to almost $200 losses that we made from operations in New Jersey. In terms of fundraising, we raised a total of $18,822. Compare that with 6,500 in New Jersey. And in the hall, I remember my memory is right. We were living with the impression that we had $20,000 raised, but it happened that some of the transactions that were coming online were not directly fundraising transactions. So some double counts were done there, and then there were some of the commitments that we have that were kind of become questionable after the fact, and we just decided to move on from there. So if you add 24,650 and the money that was raised specifically for the pathway programs, then Dallas Convention came out with a net cash to the organization of 43,477, and you can compare that with 6,280 that was realized in New Jersey. Then you see where the Dallas Convention stands in the records of the union in terms of revenue generated at the convention. So kudos to Dallas, kudos to every member, and kudos to everyone who worked so hard to make sure that we realize this. Yes, the challenges are huge because of the numbers that are there, but I think this is a phenomenal type of result that we coming out with from the Dallas Convention, and we just look forward to learn our lessons and improve on what we did not do right or do better, and make sure that we do a better job in the coming years. So that is where we are financially in terms of the Dallas Convention. Next slide, Shufai. All right, I think that is it for the financial report of the Dallas 2024 convention. If there are questions, Shufai, if you receive any questions from anybody online, maybe specifically for this for the financials, we could answer it before we go to the post convention survey to take on that. If we don't have specific questions, then I may just advise everyone to note down their questions, send their questions in, and then we can jump into the next section, which will be the post convention survey and some other developments that we have in terms of the family assistance program, so that we can just keep everyone updated on that front.
Yes, Mr. President, I'm just there are just a bunch of comments. I don't see a specific question. Maybe they will be coming in as we go along. So to save on time and make sure you deliver on your promised presentation, why don't we move forward, and then we can entertain questions at the end of your presentation. There is no specific question, so if you
All
don't
right.
mind, you want me to move on to the next slide?
Yeah, move on to the next slide, please. Okay, this is an update that I have on the Family Assistance Program, FAB, as you come to know it, right? Uh, we had, unfortunately, we lost a member from the Carolinas chapter that was one of our members, Shea Emmanuel Nga, passed away after the convention, and fortunately, Pa was registered in the family assistance program. Unfortunately, the family lost their dad lost their uncle, lost their you know everything that comes with the loss of life. And it's never a pretty moment, but it's a mixed blessings in the sense that for the first time, BFU was able to stand behind one of its members, behind one of its family, to say, "We feel your pain. We grieve with you with the loss in your family." And the Family Assistance Program issued a check to the family of $10,000 as promised within the program. In so doing, BFU sent the check and bought flowers with a card, which one of the executive members, Lady Bianca Cornier, went and presented to the family. This picture is just to show you guys that the Family Assistance Program is operational, is working, and it stands there for everyone and every member of the union who is registered and being active at their chapter. So we, with our condolences to the family, we equally are proud to have BFU as a partner who stands there for its members. So that is one development that we had after the convention that befell the family of Panga down in the Carolinas. So I just thought it was very important for everyone and the union to know that the family assistance is working, and we stand here to honor every commitment that we made to every family and every member of the union. Next slide, please. All right. This is where we are with the post conventions survey. We did issue out as everybody, and I want to thank everyone who participated in responding to those questions and took time to put those comments across. It is through that type of engagement that we can change the course of the union, change the course of what we do, and make sure that we have an opportunity to at least have the ideas which are there to make sure the union moves forward. I always say, yeah, you can have the best ideas out there, right? It takes communication to make sure that everybody shares in that vision that you have. So when there's an opportunity like this for people to share ideas, please do. And then we go to the next stage. How do we implement them? So it's a very, and I think the survey came out promptly, and I want to thank everyone who participated in the survey to make sure that we can record these things and have it in our knowledge bank to make sure we can improve on what we do. The first question here was on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being extremely satisfied. How satisfied were you with the 2024 Dallas Convention? And the results here, Shufai, I believe, I don't know, my screen is a little bit uh, darker here. I don't know what happened, but I'm just struggling to read, but I'll try the best here. If you can.
I can read it. You want me to read it out for you?
Yes, please.
Okay. Extremely satisfied is 14%. Very satisfied is 42%. Satisfied 34%. Okay 8%. Not satisfied 2%. 90% of the respondents gave the convention a good pass.
Yeah, and I think with the results like that, who would not like it, right? And I want to again, 1% is equally a very important number because you don't ignore some of those voices. They could, have some wisdom and insight that the 90% does not. But at any point in time, I think anybody would take 90%, right? For people who feel that the convention, passed on well. Next slide, please. Okay, the second one is talking. Did you listen to the BFU-USA State of the Union address by the president and CEO? Of the respondents, 78% said yes, and 21% said no. This is an experience that I was very disappointed, and I'm very appreciative of those who sat in the hall to listen. And I think this is the type of an opportunity for everyone who cares about what the union is doing to sit down and have that opportunity of a conversation, so that some of the things you are seeing from afar, you don't know what is going on, you could ask questions. Let's get engaged and discuss some of these things. But at the time that the presentation was being done, which I consider to be one of the key moments for the business of the union, the hall was empty. virtually empty, and it looks like, I don't know, but like maybe just the people who were in the hall are the people who responded to the survey or something like that. But that is going on a limp. I don't know, but the number just seems like, from my visual observation, about people who were in the hall was really like empty. But we will try to see, and there is always room for improvement, right? People say, oh, was because logistically we should have planned things otherwise to make sure that people stayed in the hall. I don't know, but we will keep trying, listening, and trying to make sure how we can better serve the union. But that is what happened with the current convention, and I am just so grateful that people take a lot of interest to make sure that they listen, learn, because there's a lot that is going on, and there's so much that we can share at a point in time. So that is what it is when it came to the State of the Union, which I thought was a very critical moment for us to discuss some key business of the Union. And this I want to key up with a part of the convention program, which was for us to discuss, the format of the convention and some of the challenges that we're having because of the numbers that are facing us, so that we can have that meaningful conversation and see the best way to be organizing the convention going forward. It's work in progress, and we'll keep learning and moving along. Next slide, please. Okay, the third question was, how satisfied are you with the current direction of BFU-USA leadership? On this question, 29% said they were very satisfied, 63.7% said they are satisfied, and the 7.8% said they were not satisfied. Again, that is the numbers are what they are. And I think all of us can do the arithmetic, right? And see for ourselves. We will be looking forward to those who said they were not satisfied, particularly, and those who said they are satisfied or very satisfied, to see what is the reason for their position. Next slide, please. All right. We asked the question, what is or are the reasons or the main reasons for your assessment in question three above, which is what I was just saying, for people who are very satisfied with the direction of the union, and those who are just satisfied, and those who are not satisfied. There is a bunch that was written, and I did not know how to analyze the questions because it's a mass dump of responses that we have. And one of the, I think the better ways, or at least the option that became very evident, was we did this call it what, word salad or word cloud, to make sure to see how repetitive some of the words that were used in the survey came. And you can see the first thing that pops out very is the leadership, right? And the second one is you see convention, you see chapter is in terms of chapter membership and stuff like that, membership and chapter. So, and that is the way that the that question was analyzed. And as you can see, people who said they are satisfied or very satisfied, they cited leadership, and in leadership they were citing programs like the pathway programs that we run, the family assistance program, convention turnout, sustaining member growth, and the IT work that is being done to improve, our presence, both in the digital and in terms of just the administrative functions of the organization, and some of the outreach and achievements that we are making in terms of the commitment of the current leadership towards that. And then the convention, was cited as another part of it, that conventions making it more innovative, even though you still have lots of challenges and room for improvement in looking at what we need to do to make sure that everyone feels satisfied and feel belonging. So those are some of the comments that people had for that. People and time, if I may go down to that one. Some of the criticism is just the fact that we lost touch of people and time, that the leadership is kind of more focused on business than looking at the individual members, and that is not a good thing. That we should be more people focused than just going out looking for money, and that things are not programs are not run on time, things are late, and we don't even, so those are some of the criticisms that we have, and I will be passing out this the slides here out. So let me not go into the details and the weeds of all of these things, so that you can equally look and take a deeper look, so that next time we have an opportunity to have a conversation, you can equally be more specific in terms of your own questions, so that we can have more specific solutions to some of these challenges that we have. Next slide, please. All right. The other question, the next question was, list three things that you enjoyed most during the 2024 Dallas convention. And you can see it's just out there. The big word is cultural. It's welcome. Welcome is referring to the welcome party. The night days to the gala night and the cultural night. Uh, and there is food, there is dinner, there is hotel. Those are some of the key words that pops out there for you. And the I think the explanations are kind of self-evident. We have, I think, the biggest hall yet, in terms of the convention that we've organized in recent times, right? And the capacity, I think, was it 1,400 or so, or 1,300 people, and then we almost filled it, so that was amazing, and people were very just happy with the cleanliness, the hotel itself, and felt comfortable being there, felt proud being there, and that's something that, if we can keep it up, that is great. And the challenges are that not very many locations will have such bigger halls, but we will just be moving it one step at a time. And each place that we have conventions, we'll figure out the best way to make sure people are comfortable, right? And the welcome dinner. Yes, people loved it. They said it was well organized, spectacular, a lot of entertainment, food was great. And the only negative comment I got from reading the responses was the fact that it was outside of the hotel. And people did not find that very, very enticing to them. They feel that those things should be within the same hotel to make it convenient and give it a tighter, more close an environment for people to enjoy it. Yeah, food was fantastic, and a lot of people, even right at the convention ground, they did appreciate the food. Even though some people, in some of the comments are saying, "Oh, the convention was a mess because there was no food. People did not have food," and like is the story of, you listen to perspective. You have people who see it from completely different perspective, and you have to listen to each person, right? Their convention is as much as they experience it in their own corner. Some people will say, oh, they didn't like the convention because their hotel room was too cold. Yeah, so those are some of the things that you have to listen to, right? And again, time management was something that part of the criticisms uh, s- or so of what happened in Dallas, or to some people, time was well managed, because they said for so long they had the best time in terms of the gala, the dance and music, and the DJ was great, and they had the hell of a time. To some others, they said there was no time. That the DJ they didn't provide enough time for dancing or something like that. So yeah, it's a whole mix of stuff. But let's go in and just, I wish that you all read all of these things, so that we can have a meaningful this thing. But we go, want to take the greater route that will provide the most value to the organization, to every member that attends convention. Next slide, please. All right, the next but one here. Will you consider two meals, breakfast and late lunch, instead of three meals, if that can reduce and or cap the cost of convention registration? This is part of the cost that is getting involved in organizing convention, right? Things are getting more expensive. People start inflation. You can see it in the price of food, even that the hotel offers, and everything else that we do. So we're trying to just figure out, sometimes you go pay, negotiate for this food, particularly like breakfast, and when you look at actually how many people do turn out to take those breakfasts, you start questioning yourself whether that commitment is worth it, right? But at the same time, anybody who's hungry for breakfast needs to have breakfast. And therefore, do you just say, you don't give them breakfast. So that's a conversation that we need to have and figure out the best way to curb the cost, because as the cost is getting much and more on the union, so too are on the members, and we just want to make sure that we can have this cultural experience, at the least cost possible. We do appreciate the impact of all of this on families, particularly larger families that have to, fly lots of members, to the convention, and all of this. This is quite a bit. So we're just kind of posing these questions to see if we can start a conversation and see the best way we can manage some of the cost that is associated, particularly with feeding. Next slide, please. The last one here is list three the things you wish were done differently at the 2024 convention, Dallas Convention, that can help improve Houston 2025. Yes, this is where the leadership had its own share of all the blames in the world, right? But at least you had great constructive ideas, as much as you got quite a ton of some of the things that you were like, these people living in the same planet that everybody else is living. But you look at it, you will see that one of the key things that came out, that's what I was even talking to you about. We're looking at how to structurally, in terms of content, make sure that we're doing a better job, right? Is the idea of tables, sitting arrangement in the hall. And one of the key challenges that we have is the fact that the union is growing bigger. At first, we used to have just 10 people who were sustaining members. Now we are talking people who are close in the upper numbers of 40, 45, or even or so, that are sustaining members. And they are not only sustaining members, the higher, presidential club members are living from two to about, I think they're getting 10. I need to go back and count the numbers specifically. And then the diamond is like, it's become like the bread and butter of the union, right? So as more people are taking up all of those sustainable, some of the privileges that we have offered to them are becoming now more challenging. And I think this is an opportunity to have a conversation. And I'm looking forward to organizing one, particularly to those who are committed to the union in sustaining them. Because when you talk to them, you realize that people sustain for different reasons. Even though some of the reasons overlap, some people have different expectations from their sustainership. Some of them are just like, hey, this is an opportunity for me to impact my community. Just take. I have sustainers who have been sustaining for years, and they are not able, because of their work or because of their circumstances, to attend convention, but they never ask a question. It's always like, oh, I'm sorry, my card, elapsed, and I want to, update it. And those are the people calling you, but they don't attend convention, but they feel so gratified, sustain, supporting what BFU is doing. So I'll be in the coming very soon, I'll be organizing a call with all sustainers so that we can begin to have this conversation of what is it that you want when you sustain, when you are a behavior sustainer, so that we can start to make sure that we don't want an organization that will be there seemingly to be catering for those who can provide, right? We want to make sure that each and every member of BFU is appreciated. And we were looking forward to make sure that we have a conversation on how some of these things are handled, and let everybody feel very belonging. As much as we need resources to carry out what we carry out there, it is very important that we make everyone feel belonging. So there's a ton of things there. There is a food. Some people, having ideas on what we should do about food, is about barbecue. Some are saying, oh, the convention was bad because they went for barbecue and there was no the lines were too long, there was not enough grilling stations, and that we needed to have provided pizza or provide, and they stood there, they couldn't even eat. The kids were hungry, they had to go and buy stuff from McDonald's to give to the kids. So there is a lot of things that are going on. We're listening and really studying and researching into all of this and having conversations. And I can promise you that the Houston Convention is going to be very different from what we had in Dallas, and in a very positive way. Just because we listen to all of this and we understand, even looking at it from the leadership perspective, there are certain things that we didn't like. even though we couldn't change it in the middle of the convention. And we're looking forward for an opportunity to make sure that we do better, by all the members of BFU-USA. So these are things that we look forward to be having a conversation with. And I hope that when we engage, particularly chapter president, they should take the information back to the chapter so that we can, have a better convention for the union going forward. It was very educative, yes, yes, Shufai, that's correct. Very educative having this post convention survey. And one of the things, like I mentioned in my introduction, is the fact that we have already engaged Houston chapter because of some of this feedback that we have, and we've shared the details of all this post-convention survey to them so that they can take the time, not only relying on my summary, but look through and get the fine details, so that when we are having a conversation, we are having it based on the facts that are there, and then look for ways of improving what we're going to have in Houston. Like I say, yes, Houston 2025, we are going to improve. If you had anything that you thought could be improved and you submitted your ideas, we'll make sure that these ideas are being put into use in Houston. And Houston is going to be one of its kind. We want to make sure that there is a surprise, and a big surprise for every union member who is going out there, and we should be going out there. It's something that we look forward to, change the content of the convention to make sure that we reflect some of these aspirations that all of you have expressed at the Dallas 2024 convention experience that you've had. The When I'll be sending out this slide, Shufai, you can go next slide. Just kind of cursory presentation if you have it. Yes, go next one again. Yeah, I attach here some of the responses that we have. I'm not going to read through them. I will share this presentation. You guys can read it and see how constructive some of the comments were, and see some of them for what they were, and just kind of get a picture of some of the things. Some of them are not very explicit; they are just words, and stuff like that. So, but yes, I want to thank everyone again who participated in this, and to let everyone know that we have listened. It's not everyone who speaks, or people that spoke to us directly. That we're going to make sure that we make the BFU a better experience for everybody else, and we're looking forward to the opportunity to do that. BFU has made itself known for what it does, and if you can look at it just from the tickets, how people were buying those tickets. I remember when we started, the idea was that the tickets were too expensive, but you can see what people buy. They bought not because we promised them anything. They bought because they knew that BFU stood for something, and there's a brand, and we're trying to protect that brand. And part of protecting and promoting the brand will be to incorporate some of these ideas that you guys have given here. There was a lot of talk, yeah, on that. We have to make sure the tables they provide water, we provide snacks, we provide this, we provide a lot of things. We will take all of that into consideration and make sure that we do better, even though we did not premise that, but courtesy and kind of very customer service requires that you do some of those things, and we look forward to the opportunity to do those. All right, Shufa, I think that should be it for this presentation. I think if you have questions now, if people have submitted any questions that we need to answer, then we can jump onto that and round up this presentation. Thank you so much, and I appreciate everything that you do. And before we go there, Shufai, I think it's very, very important for me to say this, uh, just specifically on the Family Assistance Program. I want to give a very, very big shout out to the administrator, uh, Mr. Tobias Kijo, and Lawir Mohammed, for the awesome job that they have done in handling FAB. If FAB has been automated, you guys sign up for it. You saw how easy it was. It was thanks to the countless hours, nightly hours, that we put into place in programming those the FAB operations. And Uncle Toby is a non-nonsense dime finding type of guy who makes sure that nothing falls up the cracks. And I just want to take this moment to give them that special shout out for what they have done to make sure that Fab is what it is right now. There's still a lot of improvement that we're going to be doing, but it's a very, very commendable job that they've done, to make sure Fab is what it is today operationally. So thank you guys very much.